Some of the fastest growing faceless channels on YouTube right now are posting documentary-style content with simple mannequin silhouette. No voiceover talent, no camera, no animation team, and they are pulling millions of views a month. And here is the part nobody is talking about. The entire production pipeline, script, characters, scenes, thumbnails, branding, narration, can now be built almost automatically using a combination of AI agents that most people have never even heard of. Not ChatGPT, not a basic text generator, an actual automated workflow where one command triggers a chain reaction that builds your YouTube channel from scratch. Today, I am walking you through the exact setup, every tool, every step, every connection. By the end of this video, you will have a fully operational content system that can produce documentary-style videos at a pace that would have required a full production team 2 years ago. Before we touch any tools, you need to understand why this content style is blowing up right now. Because once you see it, the opportunity becomes obvious. Mannequin-style documentary channels are winning for 3 specific reasons. First, low production cost. No actors, no locations, no expensive renders. The visual style is intentionally minimal, which means the storytelling has to carry the video. And when storytelling carries a video, retention goes up. Second, high rewatch appeal. Documentary content covers true crime, history, finance, unexplained events, topics people genuinely want to understand. These are not trend-chasing videos that die in 2 weeks. They build catalog value over time. Third, algorithm alignment. YouTube's recommendation engine loves content that holds watch time. Documentary structure, hooks, reveals, tension, payoff is engineered for exactly that. Now here is where it gets interesting. The bottleneck for most creators in this space has always been production time. Writing a tight documentary script takes hours. Generating consistent character visuals across 20 scenes is a nightmare without a design team. Building channel branding that looks professional requires skills most people do not have. Claude Code and the workflow we are building today removes every one of those bottlenecks. This is what that looks like in practice. The system runs on 6 tools working together. Understanding what each one does before you start saves a lot of confusion later. Claude Code is the core AI agent. This is Anthropic's tool designed for complex multi-step automation, not just answering questions, but actually executing tasks, making decisions, and building things. It is the brain of the entire operation. Anti-Gravity AI is Google's free AI agent alternative. The reason we set up both is simple. If you want to run the workflow without spending Claude Code credits, Anti-Gravity handles most of the same tasks completely free. Think of it as your backup engine that runs on Gemini Flash. Not.js is the runtime environment that allows AI automation tools to actually execute on your computer. Without it, nothing runs. Git manages the connections and integrations that Claude Code depends on. Again, without it, the workflow breaks. Higgsfield MCP is the piece that transforms this from a writing tool into a full production pipeline. MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. It is what gives your AI agents the ability to generate characters, create scenes, build thumbnails, and produce narration, not just write text. This is the difference between Claude writing you a script and Claude building you a video. CapCut handles final assembly. Once the AI has generated all your assets, CapCut is where you bring everything together on a timeline and export a finished video. 6 tools. 1 pipeline. Start with Node.js. Go to nodejs.org, download the version for your operating system, and run the installer. The defaults work fine. You do not need to customize anything. Then install Git. Go to gitscm.com, download the installer, and run it. Again, defaults are fine. These 2 need to be installed before anything else. If you try to install Claude Code or Anti-Gravity AI without them, the setup will fail. Once Node.js and Git are ready, download Claude Code from anthropic.com and Anti-Gravity AI from their site. Install both. When you launch them, they will look fairly similar. A clean interface with a chat-style input and a file system panel on the side. The first thing to do inside either tool is create a project folder. This is the workspace where all your generated assets will live. Scripts, character images, scene files, thumbnails, branding assets, everything, name it something clear. Documentary automation project works. Mannequin channel workspace works. The name does not matter. What matters is that everything from this point forward goes into this one folder so nothing gets scattered. Inside Claude Code, select your model based on your plan. If you are on a paid plan, use the most capable model available. Inside Anti-Gravity AI, select Gemini Flash for the free version. Now comes the step that most tutorials skip over, and it is the most important one in the entire setup. This is what separates a Claude Code setup that can write text from one that can generate an entire visual production pipeline. Without Higgsfield MCP connected, your AI agents can produce scripts and ideas. With Higgsfield MCP connected, they can create characters, generate scenes, produce thumbnails, and output narration, all triggered by a single prompt. Open the setup document that comes with the workflow. Link is in the description. Inside, you will find 2 installation prompts, one for anti-gravity AI and one for Claude Code. Start with anti-gravity. Copy the setup prompt for anti-gravity and paste it directly into the chat. Hit enter and let it run. The agent will automatically verify that node. JS is installed, check for NPM, confirm Git is present, and set up the required environment. You do not need to do anything manually. Just wait for it to finish and confirm each step. Once the verification is done, copy the authentication prompt from the setup document and paste that in next. This prompt redirects you to a browser window where you log into your Higgsfield account and authorize the connection. After you authorize, Anti-Gravity AI now has full access to Higgsfield MCP. Repeat the exact same process inside Claude Code. Setup prompt first, authentication prompt second. Connect your Higgsfield account. Both agents are now fully connected. The production pipeline is active, and the entire system is waiting for your first real command. But here is where most people slow down. They have the tools connected, but they have no idea how to actually direct the AI toward a specific channel style. That is what the source document solves. The source document is the training material for the entire workflow. It is what tells the AI not just what to make, but exactly how to make it. The tone, the pacing, the hook structure, the storytelling rhythm, the retention techniques used in high-performing documentary content. Dit with the source PDF from the Google Drive link in the description, and upload it directly into Claude Code or Anti-Gravity AI. Watch what happens next. This is not a chatbot reading a document and summarizing it. The agent actually analyzes the material, studying the writing style, mapping the narrative structure, identifying the hook patterns, understanding how information is revealed across the video to keep viewers watching. It builds a content framework from the inside out, and once that analysis is complete, you trigger the entire production sequence with one word: type, start. That single command launches the idea generation phase. Within seconds, the AI produces a list of documentary video concepts, not random suggestions, but ideas specifically engineered to match the niche and style in the source document. Review the list. Pick the concept that feels strongest. Send the number back to Claude Code. The AI moves immediately into script generation. The script it produces is not a generic YouTube script. Because it was trained on your source material, it follows the specific documentary structure you fed it. Complete hook, narrative arc, tension builds, information reveals, and a closing sequence that drives retention all the way to the end. You will get a preview before it finalizes. Read through it. If the direction is right, tell the agent to proceed. If something needs adjusting, say so before it locks in. Making changes at this stage is much easier than rebuilding later. Once the script is approved, the workflow moves into character creation automatically. Here is where Higgsfield MCP earns its place in the stack. Claude Code scans the script and identifies every significant character in the story. It builds detailed profiles, physical descriptions, role in the narrative, visual characteristics. Then it generates actual character reference images for each one. And because it uses reference generation rather than prompting from scratch each time, the same character looks consistent from scene to scene. Same silhouette, same visual identity, no drift. This is what previously required a skilled character designer and days of revision. The workflow produces it in minutes. Review the characters, approve them. The pipeline advances to scene generation. Higgsfield MCP accesses a tool called CDance 2.0, which handles cinematic scene generation. The AI reads through the approved script line by line, identifies every visual moment, every scene transition, every key beat in the story, and breaks the entire script into visual chapters. Each chapter gets generated individually. The AI is not producing one long clip. It is building a sequence of scenes that align precisely with the narration, giving you full control over timing and pacing during final assembly. Once generation is complete, the agent provides preview links for each chapter. Go through them one by one. If a scene does not look right, wrong framing, wrong movement, wrong visual tone, tell the agent to regenerate that specific chapter. You do not need to redo everything. Just flag the scenes that need work and let it run again. When you are satisfied with all the chapters, approve the full set. The AI then studies thumbnail design patterns from high-performing videos in your niche. Using Higgsfield MCP, it generates multiple thumbnail concepts based on proven visual principles: contrast, focal point, text placement, emotional expression. Several variations come out automatically. Pick the strongest one. In most cases, they are already ready to use with no additional editing. Now comes the final stage before assembly, channel branding. Go back to the setup document and download the branding PDF. Upload it into Claude Code. The agent analyzes naming conventions, logo structures, banner layouts, and visual identity patterns from successful documentary channels. Then it generates channel name options based on your niche. Choose the one that fits. Once selected, Higgsfield MCP generates a channel logo and a YouTube banner automatically. At this point, your channel has a complete identity, a name, a logo, a banner, a full script, consistent characters, scene chapters, thumbnail options, narration from Higgsfield text-to-speech. Everything needed to publish a video, built by a largely automated pipeline that you directed, not designed. Open CapCut. Import your scene chapters. Import the voiceover file from Higgsfield text-to-speech. Drop everything onto the timeline in order. This is the one stage where your personal judgment genuinely matters. The AI built every asset, but you are the one who decides the exact timing. Where a scene lingers a beat longer for impact, where a cut hits harder, where a caption reinforces a key moment. Add your captions. Bold style, positioned high enough to avoid covering the visuals. Bring in background music at low volume, atmosphere only, not competing with the narration. Apply smooth transitions between scenes. This final layer of human attention is what pushes the video from AI generated to genuinely watchable. It does not take long, but it is the difference between content that feels automated and content that feels intentional. Works the finished file. Upload it. Step back for a second and look at what just happened. You started with an idea and a source document. The AI studied that document, generated video concepts, wrote a documentary-style script, created consistent character visuals, produced scene chapters, designed thumbnails, built full channel branding, and converted the script into narration. You directed the process. You made the judgment calls at each approval stage. You did the final assembly, but the production work, the hours of writing, designing, generating, and organizing that would have required a full team, happened automatically. And that is not a one-time thing. Every video you produce with this system follows the same pipeline. The workflow gets faster as you get more familiar with it. The output quality compounds as you refine your source materials and approval decisions. Channels using this approach are not just posting one video and hoping for the best. They are building content libraries, consistent upload schedules, growing catalog value, the kind of compound growth that faceless channels are built for. The creators learning these systems right now are not just getting ahead for this month. They are building infrastructure that will outperform manual production for years. The tools are built. The pipeline is ready. The only move left is to start. If this helped, drop a like and leave any questions in the comments. I go through everything and I will help where I can. All the setup documents, prompts, and resource links are in the description below. Everything is organized and ready to go. Go build your first video. I will see you in the next one.